You guys want to start K-State or Texas?
I guess Texas.
All right. Well, anytime you play an in-state school, obviously means a lot to our fans and our university, and obviously a great deal of respect for Coach Beard and Texas. They started out the year ranked top 5, and I think he's done a great job blending the talent. It takes time to mesh, and I think they're playing their best basketball. And I know this is another Big 12 game, which means hard-fought game. But anytime you play an in-state school, there's just something more at stake.
Does this look like a Chris Beard's teams are always known for defense? Does this look like a typical?
But definitely, their defense is very good, and it's gotten better. In the Big 12, everybody's defenses are good, and it's hard. Kind of sometimes you say, well, are they the best defense? And I mean, most of them are ranked in the top 20. So number 8 to number 10, number 5 to number 8. I mean, there's not much difference. All of them are really good, and I think the big thing that helps them is their age. They got them and the Oklahoma Thunder about the same age. I think they got 8 guys over 22. So that definitely helps when you have more physical, mature players that have guarded a lot of actions and been through a lot of scouting reports and seen about everything.
Is LJ a possibility no more?
LJ, we'll keep listing game time because really it's a matter of pain tolerance, and he's been doing more. But the day he wakes up and is no pain is the day that he's a go. So literally he comes in tomorrow and says, I'm fine, then he's fine. So that's he's been cleared to do whatever he can do.
Scott, I feel like that's kind of been the case for pretty much every player that's been injured so far. Can you give a little more insight into day-to-day in practice when they're listed as game time decisions? Are they also game time practice decisions in that sense?
Absolutely. For instance, he did more yesterday in practice than he did today. You're always going to have guys banged up during this time of year. And it's real easy for me because the trainer's the one that makes the decisions, and he just tells me who I have for the day. So I try not to answer his calls.
With this game being at the Ferrell Center, obviously Texas is kind of, it's really a hot team right now. So just, having the luxury to be, at the Ferrell Center.
Definitely, it's always better playing home games in the Big 12, and you got to protect the home court. And I know our student section's been outstanding this year. We've had great fan turnout, and Ferrell Center's been loud, and that's really helped us at home. And hopefully tomorrow we get that. We have a lot of guys on our team that are morning guys, like to do their workouts early. So us coaches probably rather sleep in longer than the players, which is a good thing.
Coach, 10 of the last 11 against Texas has gone your way. What is it that you guys have done the last 5 or 6 years that's been able to be so successful against them?
No, I think first and foremost, we've had players that have competed, understood what's at stake, and really executed game plans. So sometimes you get in rivalry games, and too much emotion makes you play not to your strengths. You make a lot of mental errors, self-inflicted wounds, and I think in those 11 games, we've been able to execute as well as play hard. And you got to do both.
And Coach, the other sports, tennis, the women just beat them twice, the football team beat them. Do you feel like that just kind of builds it up more and more the more their fans watch them lose to Baylor?
Well, I think each sport's different. Obviously, I've cheered on every one of those wins and been excited, and hopefully we can keep it going. I know, again, in-state games, I know they mean a lot to not only our staff and team, but also to all the Baylor fans, Central Texas. And the good thing is we get them here, and I know fans like to cheer loud against the in-state schools.
John just seems to get better and better in just about every way. What are you seeing from him, and how does he kind of inspire everybody?
Well, that's why you call him Everyday John, because you don't have to guess what he's going to bring. Won't always make every shot, but he's always going to work hard. He's always going to play hard. He's human, so he'll have a day where he'll complain, but it's very like an eclipse. They don't come often. So I always say if everybody had a whole team full of Johns, there'd be a lot more coaches out there.
know his three-point percentage is about the same as LJ's.
I'm going to make sure LJ knows that too.
Scott, what was the difference for him the other night? Was it just a matter of the offense going through him, or just?
I think every game we play, I mean, it's just like we just got done with football. Some people stop the run. Some people give you the short pass. Some people give you the long pass. I mean, everyone's defenses is geared a little different. And I thought our guards did a great job attacking what they gave us at K-State. Some games at Kansas, we didn't attack properly or didn't execute as well. And then at the end of the day, when you make shots, everything works out. I mean, you can have a bad shot and it goes in, and it's good offense because you scored. And I know Fran was just here, and he says, ball's in the air, good coach, bad coach, good coach, bad coach, good coach. And it depends if it's in or out. And what drives you nuts is when you have good looks and you miss them, and then the other team has bad looks and banks them in. Like that's what drives coaches nuts, because you can come up with a great play, get a great look, and you remember the best three-point shooters in the country are only making 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10 at most. So I mean. That's where the defense and rebound comes in. But I thought we really executed well up there, and John finished well.
Coach, in your experience for their team coming off such a big win over Kansas, have you noticed that seems to make teams play better in the next game or have a bit of a lull in the next game?
Honestly, when you've been around long enough, you've seen it all. So sometimes it's better to play teams when they've lost a couple. Sometimes it's better to play teams that come off a big win. I mean, it really you see it all during the course of the year. I think we're always, as coaches, more concerned about our team and how we're playing, and hopefully we can put our best foot forward and then let the chips fall where they may.
What maybe did you see out of Texas in that Kansas game that you feel like you'll need to focus on going into this?
Well, I mean, I think offensively they do a great job being physical, cutting, a lot of points in the paint. I think they do a great job getting to the paint, jump stopping. They defensively, they take a lot of charges. They'll gamble in the passing lane, get some steals, which will lead to easies. And I think they had all of that in the Kansas game, and that led to the win.
Anything else? Scott, the defense the other day, I mean, particularly coming off the game, I know you kind of stressed the transition defense, but did you feel like that was maybe one of your better games defensively, or?
Yeah, the first time we held them to 31%, and this time 39, I believe. But both games were very, very good, and I thought I felt better as a coach because anytime we don't perform well, you put it on yourself. And we talked about transition, but we probably didn't drill it enough, and so that was on our staff. We did a good job doing that. They did a good job following what adjustments and what we needed to do, and I think it paid off. And hopefully we can continue to shore up. I mean, coaching, you don't know you have a problem until the game's played, and then the game's over, and then you fix it, and then the next game you got another problem. So it's kind of like your kids at home at night, right? One night they're perfectly behaved, the next day you're like, are those my kids, It's life.
Coach, Kendall Brand looked more dangerous in the mid-range and kind of around the paint against Kansas State. Is that something he's focusing on, or is he just kind of getting better at taking what's coming to him?
I think both. And Kendall's 18 years old, so each game he learns, and hopefully at the end of the year he's at his best. I tell you what, he's improved his outside shot, and when he shoots a three, we feel like it's going in. So.
Yeah, Flo, what do you see from Texas? They're pretty hot right now. What do you see?
I mean, Texas is a really good team. I mean, I saw some film, some clips from the game against Kansas. They had a really good game. They were aggressive on the board. They made some tough shots, but overall, they're a very talented team. So it should be a good game this weekend.
John, are they a much different team than last year? I guess they have some of the same personnel back.
I mean, they got a new coaching staff. It's still a great team. I believe they're one of the best teams in the nation. Since they're one of they're a Big 12 team, and every single night, Big 12 is fighting the battle. I think they're really good rebounding. They're older. They got older guys. They have a lot of transfers, so we're going to have to get prepared to play against a really mature team that really need wins.
Flo, do you see any similarities between this team and the Tech teams that were coached by Chris Beard that you played against?
I mean, I would say a little bit, but not entirely. I mean, because in the past, when I look at the Tech team, they were basically got a bunch of guys who were there for a longer period of time. And when you look at this team, it's just it's more of a newly assembled team. So it's kind of different in that note. But I mean, they just look like guys who've kind of bought in, you know, to the Chris Beard style and everything. But they're just a really good team. So it's going to be a good matchup. It's going to be a good matchup.
When you see them play the way they did against Kansas, especially so close to when you all played Kansas, does that give a little more respect, or does that change the way you look at them at all?
I mean, not at all. I mean, every game in the Big 12 is tough. You know, whether it was us playing Kansas at their place, which was tough. You know, whether even if Texas coming here, regardless of who we play, it's the Big 12, and so it's going to be up and down. So we just got to make sure we prepare ourselves for that matchup.
John, what was the difference for you the other day? I mean, was that just a matter of in the flow of the offense, or did that just happen? What?
I was just in the flow of the offense. I was just getting more looks, and that's the way they just play the defense. I get usually more open, the more I roll, and I was just grateful to have just great guards who would just find me open each and every time. So that's just what happened.
Well, when you look at this Big 12 race this year, I mean, we're a little bit past halfway, but obviously nobody's going to go undefeated. Nobody's going to get away with one loss. It's like, we always talk about this, teams get in there and start beating each other up. What are you seeing in this race so far? When you look at Kansas lost to Texas, and you know Texas lost to Texas Tech, and you just start adding them up.
I mean, it's a tough league. I mean, we had the first leg. Now we're going into the second leg, and this is probably going to be the toughest leg, you know, going into it, especially for us, considering we have a few more away games left, and we're going to be playing in a lot of these teams' home territory. But just overall, I mean, it's a tough league, and regardless of where you play, even if you play at home, it's still going to be tough. Like, look at us against Tech. So just overall, we just got to make sure we just prepared, make sure the guys are in the right state of mind to play, and just go out there and perform.
I know you guys are still waiting for LJ to get back, but you guys have gotten some players back and kind of got almost everybody back. Are y'all kind of getting things continuity again, or is it still a work in progress?
I mean, for us, we rely very much on our chemistry. I mean, as long as our chemistry's there, the guys come in, like, we played what's available. I mean, obviously, we'd wish for LJ to be there and, you know, for us to have a full, complete team, but we always just make the best with all the guys that we have. So.
Well, obviously you didn't grow up here in Texas, but do you feel like you've gotten a sense of what this rivalry means to people at Baylor and to people in the state?
Yeah, I've had my fair share of experiences, whether it was, you know, down in Austin, you know, before the game, or even here, and just seeing all the fans riled up and everything. So I have a sense of how big the deal is. But at the end of the day, you know, we just go out there, just play our best and represent the school in the best way we can. So, yeah.
John, what's it like playing these morning games? Is it hard to get up and play that early, or do you kind of like getting it out of the way?
Well, I'm pretty much like an early person. I love playing early. Like, if it was up to me, I would play at 9 a.m. I just feel like it's really good just play on a Saturday, just getting after it.
John, particularly after the Kansas game, how important was that for the defense to kind of come back together and do what you guys did?
Well, after the Kansas game, we realized like a lot of that was into our effort. We had to work on transition defense. All the time we're just like running or just jogging back on defense, and that's something we can really fix like right away after just watching film and just looking at ourselves, because right after the game, the coaching staff wanted us to go and watch the film and see what we could have done better. And the first thing would just literally just running back on defense. They had like 22 points on transition in the first half, and that's something we could correct like right away during practice. So that's one of the biggest things.